with my Get Ahead gravy. Because let's face it, what's a Thanksgiving feast without a little bit of gravy? Am I right? I know. Listen, your turkey's dry, gravy will fix that. Your potatoes are kind of gravy's your best friend. I love making a good gravy, and getting ahead on it is super smart. Because the worst thing in the world is you feel like you're done. You got your sides, your turkey's resting, everything's good to go, and you have to run in the kitchen and make gravy? No, thank you. That's when I've had, a glass of wine. I want to eat the cheese I set out. So no, we're getting our gravy done ahead of time. So to get started on my Make Ahead gravy, the first thing you need to do is get a good pan that is both oven and stove safe. So I've got one here. This is like an enameled cast iron, but even just like a plain old roasting pan, like a metal one, would be perfect. Does anybody remember those roasting pans that were like black and speckled? That's the key one. That would work perfectly. So the first thing we need to do is get to work on the vegetable base for this gravy. So here I've got 3 yellow onions that I've just peeled. I'm just gonna trim off the root end as well, just to get rid of that. And you just wanna cut this up real kind of chunky. There's no finesse here. This is not a tricky thing to do. You don't have to dice. You don't have to do anything like that. Just kind of have them and then cut them into big chunks. This is gonna roast for a good while in the oven, so honestly, even quarters is absolutely perfect. It doesn't even have to be an accurate quarter. You can kind of just do this if you want to, just for fun, Just be safe. That was thrilling and terrifying, Mary Berg. All right, so add that on into that pan as well. And then we're going in with carrots and celery. Now, if you are someone who knows French cooking, this is also known as a mirepoix. Mirepoix is a mixture of onion, celery, and carrot. So I'm going in with 2 carrots, and you want about 1 or 2 celery stalks. I don't even peel my carrots, though. I just give them a little bit of a scrub to make sure they're nice and clean. Chunk them up real nice. You can cut them even smaller if you want to, but honestly, the big size is great because they're not gonna burn. Pop those in there, and then I've got my celery. These are kind of thinner stalks, so I'm gonna go in with 2, but again, 1 is perfect. So in goes that celery, and there we've got our beautiful mirepoix base. So I'm just gonna move this right on over here. I know, let's hear from mirepoix. Yeah. Honestly, such a great flavor starter. So into there, we're gonna start building. The first thing I wanna add is 3 cloves of garlic, and I've actually got the skins left on, because these little babies are gonna roast down and give you almost like roasted garlic sweetness in there. Totally delish. So just toss those right on in. And now we're gonna go in with our meat. Now I am making a turkey gravy, or a gravy for turkey, but I'm using chicken. I know, kind of strange. If you wanted to, you could totally do this with turkey, but turkey does take longer to make up. So I like to use chicken drumsticks. Whatever chicken honestly is on sale, that's a good dark meat chicken, whether it's thighs, drumsticks, chicken wings work really well too. I've got 8 drumsticks here. If you had chicken wings, I'd probably go with about 16, but I'm just gonna pop those right on into the pan as well. You don't have to be cute about it. It's all gonna go in kind of to the oven and roast up beautifully. Now I also want a little bit of like smokiness in here. So for that, obviously, we're going for bacon. I've got 3 strips of bacon here, just classic regular bacon. Just pop those in. You don't have to chop them up, just kind of like lay them on over. It's gonna be amazing. Now for a little bit of herbiness, which I absolutely love, I'm going in with about 2 sprigs each of sage and rosemary. If you are doing like a thyme turkey, you're using a little bit of thyme or something, feel free to use that. I'm going in sage and rosemary though, because those are my preferred. Your house is also gonna smell so good when this roasts off. All right, nice rosemary as well. Already this looks pretty beautiful to me. I'm gonna season that up with some salt, as well as a little bit of pepper, just as much pepper as you'd like. You can always season later, but you do wanna add a little bit of seasoning now, because that helps remove some of the moisture from the vegetables, from everything, and helps it roast down even better. Now, this seems a little bit out there. If you wanted to, you could add in some star anise. Gives a little bit of a licoricey flavor, but in a nice way. Or you could use a little bit of nutmeg. I got it, yeah. I think that was the deepest nutmeg pocket I've had to deal with yet. All right, now I'm just gonna grate over just a little bit. This is not gonna make it taste like pumpkin pie. It's not gonna make it taste like your morning latte. It just gives the nicest little bit of warmth into this delicious gravy. Again, not gonna taste sweet, just delicious. Now I'm gonna add a little bit of oil onto here. We don't need a lot though, because again, that chicken thighs and that bacon, or the chicken drumsticks, have a good amount of fat on there, so it's gonna render out as this roasts in the oven. Give that a little bit of a toss, just to kind of get everything kind of combined and coated a little bit. And then this beautiful plate, or tray rather, goes into 350-degree oven for an hour. You want that to roast off just until everything's cooked, it's tender. It's got a little bit of that golden brown flavor going on. So pop that in, your house is gonna start smelling amazing. It's gonna smell like you're doing Thanksgiving, but like 5 days early, which is perfect. Because again, nobody has time to make gravy on the night. So, we have got this right here. All of those herbs have cooked down. You can smell the sage. You can smell the rosemary. It's a total dream. I'm very, very excited about it. Now, this is why you need to do something that can go from the oven to the stove, because I am landing that right on the stove. That's on about medium-low heat, and I actually want to start cooking this on the stove. That's going to give me some beautiful caramelization on the bottom of that pan, and it's going to give really nice color and like caramelly flavor into this gravy. Now, you could cook this for anywhere from 5 minutes to 10 minutes. You could even go longer if you want. The longer you cook it, the darker your gravy is gonna be. If you like a lighter color, obviously stick to those 5 minutes. But what we need to do first is bust out our potato masher, AKA your nemesis when you're trying to close or open your drawer. Worst thing in the world. But what you wanna do is actually just mash this stuff up. You wanna grind it up, get some of that chicken kind of like mushed off of that bone. Maybe you got some relatives coming over that you're not super pumped about seeing. Just get a little bit of the grinding out. And you can see you're starting to get that caramelization. A lot of that juice is coming out of that chicken. It's gonna be perfect. Those vegetables are starting to kind of break down a bit. Let that go for that amount of time. Once it's cooked and it's kind of smelling really caramelized, I'm gonna add in my flour. So you need 4 tablespoons of just plain all-purpose flour. I know some people like a classic gravy thickener or cornstarch. I like a flour thickened gravy. Gives really nice flavor. Again, more toasty than those other options. 4 tablespoons is pretty much perfect. Just scatter it over top. If you scatter it over top, it gets half the mixing done for you. If I were to dump this in one spot, honestly, it'd be tougher to mix in. Give this a good scrape now. You want that flour to toast off for about a minute. That's gonna toast off that raw flour flavor. And because like, toast is obviously better than bread. So you wanna toast your flour, right? Once that's all mixed up and toasted off, we're just gonna add in 2 liters of water. Now, if you wanted to, you could do this with stock. That would give it a little more flavor. But honestly, there is enough flavor going on in this pan. It's gonna be totally delish. So I've got 2 liters of boiling water here. It's not boiling already. It's gonna be totally fine. It just won't come up to a boil as quick and it'll take longer. So set your kettle to go, pour yourself a cup of tea, make yourself some gravy. You're laughing. All right, when you start pouring that water in though, give it a little bit of a scrape on the bottom. You're gonna get lots of caramelization. It's gonna be totally beautiful. As you can see, you got those bones out, that nice tender chicken. That bacon is cooking down. Add that right on in. Then what you wanna do, once that comes up to a simmer, let it go for about 30 minutes, just until it's a perfect consistency. It's thick enough for your liking. That will be absolutely perfect. Then take that gravy, set a bowl underneath your coarse sieve. I've done that before where I haven't, and then my gravy goes down the drain. Not great. You wanna strain that out, and then you have that beautiful gravy. Now the trick here is, don't get rid of all of that stuff you just strained out. Pick out the bones, pick out those sprigs of herbs, transfer that even back into this pan, a little bit of puff pastry on there, pop it in the oven, you got dinner tonight. Kind of like a chicken pot pie. Pretty good. But we're talking gravy today, so let's go over here. Once you do that, you strain it out, you end up with the most beautiful gravy you have ever seen. Now, if you're me, this is your serving of mashed potatoes. I'm a big fan, and especially if you're me, no matter what age I've been, I am a fan of doing a classic potato volcano. So you gotta do one of those. Pop it in the middle. Oh yeah! That gravy is gonna be a total dream. Now here's the thing, you can make this gravy 5 days in advance, store it in your fridge, or you could make it 3 months in advance, store it in your freezer. So yeah, you're getting Thanksgiving gravy done, but you could also get Christmas gravy done. No big deal. All right, I'm giving it a taste. I can't say no to gravy, I love it. Okay, oh my gosh, you have to make this. Hey, Mary here. What did you think? Drop your comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more of the good stuff.